Hello, great folks, and it's great to be with you on this last episode of using technology to attain responsible business growth. Using technology to attain responsible business growth. I'm your anchor, Abiodun Abari. Okay, and welcome. All right, and this quarter, all right, your program on Amagate Radio Communications, the pervasiveness, right, of the need to pivot from the dependence on fossil fuel has never been more prominent. So you're talking about the vulnerability of the current global oil and gas supply chain, and this its vulnerability to geopolitical and allied interferences. Okay, I mean that is undeniable. Okay, that is not up for argument. I mean, what's really happened in the Middle East, the Straits of Hormuz. I mean, the imbroglio between United States and Iran, and of course Israel too involved. All right, so you look at that and actually embracing responsible business conduct is logical, is rational, and even economies that are not dependent on the supply through the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, they were not insulated from. They were not insulated from the disruptions, and for obvious reasons. And what is sustainable is what we have been talking about, and talking about these last two quarters. I mean, ensuring that not just the operational and financial frameworks are up and running, but also the sustainability framework. We talk about the stakeholdership. I mean, to complete the tripod. So, of course, talking about responsible business growth, we talk about how inculcating ESG principles into the operational philosophy of the organization, how that impacts the optimization of the number of potential investors, for instance. And of course, you have to understand that the ESG has not just become imperative for businesses, but also very, very critical for investors. So these dynamics must be well understood, which we have actually ensured that we explained very well during the quarter. Okay, so talking about how businesses or investments are evaluated, how they are judged, how they are selected. So investors have moved from just evaluating, judging, and selecting businesses or investments based on how much profit or loss, okay, is to be made. All right, I mean, just looking at organizations that can deliver not just on the financial goals, but goals for wider benefits of society at large, because that is what is sustainable. That is what will keep the profits running for the long term. All right, so the carbon footprint, of course, is an issue, and investors believe that sustainability connotes decarbonization. All right, so the heavy dependence on fossil fuel, okay, jeopardizes the ability to be productive and generate profit in the future. Exemplified as we all could see, as during these past few months in the Middle East with what happens in the Straits of Hormuz. Okay, so looking at the vulnerability of the global oil and gas supply chain. I mean, its vulnerability to geopolitical shocks, to geopolitical interferences. Okay, so very, very important that that pivot from fossil fuel is actually well established. Okay, is well implemented to ensure sustainability. Okay, so I mean, investors understand that depletion of environment will raise business costs, okay, in future. All right, so and responsible businesses are attractive, okay, are attractive to investors because they inculcate ESG principles, okay, that positively impacts sustainability. All right, so and of course, we do not forget the fact that that factor of being consistent or being aligned with some specific political agendas could also come to play, okay, when talking about inculcating sustainability. So conventionally, ESG is seen from the prism of a strategy, right? But you have to understand that the role that it plays as being a metric used by investors in evaluating and judging and selecting businesses and investments is something that has come to the fore. So when we talk about ESG principles, all right, we're talking in terms of non-balance sheet items, okay. We're talking about the non-financial part, okay, which has become very important for organizations, very critical for investors and other stakeholders. Being that as is may, we always talk about transiting such a manner that does not actually upset the balance of the organization. Okay, you understand that activists will be prodding, okay, and prodding organizations to make that switch to being responsible, okay, in their business conduct, right? But basic questions should be answered and actually engendering the optimal path for the ESG adoption, okay, for a responsible business conduct adoption, right? So despite how much the pressure is, okay, from activists, okay, from investors and and so on, from civil society. All right, so each organization must have follow that optimal path, that transition, okay, to sustainability approach to responsible business conduct. Right, so you know that the pressure will come for instantaneous change, right? That agenda, that will be so much justified, and so on and so forth, right? So, but the organization was not pander to that pressure to the activists, civil society, and investors who are actually prodding the organization to change, right? So the time frame, of course, you understand that by 2050 net zero emission, over 150 countries already signed on, okay, and you know how much time, okay, that organizations have, all right. So and of course, so we're looking at a 10 to 24 year window for organizations to transit to being responsible. So it therefore follows that businesses have to modify their models. The nature of their investments have to be modified. They have to change. Okay, they have to have ESG compliant investments being brought to the fore. So, of course, for businesses, they need to provide that wide societal impact. Okay, that does not obviate profit making. Okay, businesses still have to focus on both profit making and societal impact. All right, so of course, it's the societal impact that makes the profit making sustainable. That makes it's something that can happen in perpetuity. All right, because when all stakeholders' interests are well taken care of, well integrated, well addressed. Okay, so sustainability concerns are actually addressed. So what you have is that index is right there, where it's it can make a positive impact. Okay, for the business and society, right? So of course, profit making is positive and it contributes significantly to the sustainable growth of organizations, as we've well delved into that in the past. Okay, so but doing so in a responsible manner ensures that the ability to continue to make profits in the future is not jeopardized by ESG factors. So the reality is for businesses to make choices that impact wider society, okay, not just profits for the investors, not just financial return, right? So, and of course, in towing that path, right? So, strategy must be formulated, okay, and communication must be effective, and critical stakeholders buy-in is desideratum. And talking about transition, one veritable way to transit and attain responsible business growth is through the use of technology. All right, and we've been sharing this with you in the last quarter, this last few episodes of this quarter, and be able to talk about how the various technologies and the various impacts as regarding conducting business in a responsible manner, achieving growth that is sustainable, inculcating ESG principles, talking about getting profits, maximum profits, but minimal environmental impact. And transforming digitally, it's something that can enhance a business's ability to operate efficiently and deliver optimal value to stakeholders, I mean, including wider society. I mean, ensuring sustainability framework is intact. So talking about automation and streamlining of business processes, can be more readily achieved, so that the focus can be on responsible business growth. Okay, so that focus can be freed up, attention can be freed up, resources, especially time, can be freed up. Okay, for the achievement of responsible business growth. Okay, because automation and streamlining of our business processes, right, has been made possible through digital transformation. Okay, for instance, you're talking about the management of oil wells itself. We're talking about fossil fuel, oil wells and installations remotely, right, using AI-powered solutions. I mean, of course, that will lead to some of decarbonization, leading to optimization of operational efficiency and enhancement of predictive maintenance. All right, so predictive maintenance ensures that unplanned downtime is reduced to the barest minimum. All right, so like the AI-powered model can easily predict pump failures, which cause a reduction in unplanned downtime, as I said, and with the reduction in logistics cost, operational efficiency is enhanced. So we look at how technology like the AI helps its business understands its customers, all right, by evaluating as much data as possible to understand that to determine the pattern, right, to understand the customers' tastes, insights, thoughts, patterns, and so on, choices, selections and preferences, and that helps to impact the customer experience, and that of course impacts the numbers for the business, and helps the retention, and of course impacts sustainability. Okay, so and of course the understanding of all the stakeholders too has a view to churning out tailor-made value added products and services. All right, so however, accessing the appropriate data sets is something that is very, very important. All right, so and ultimately harnessing resources to get actionable insight to promote responsible business growth. All right. And in employing technology to translate this digital transformation, the approach should not be a one size fits all. It's the perfect fit is something that should be courted, is something that should be coveted, right? Something is the path to go. Okay, getting the solution of perfect fit, is key. So you understand that the way a business, the way an organization uses data is crucial for making informed, responsible business decisions, for towing that responsible business path. So in reaping the full benefits of using that technology to achieve responsible business growth, I mean, the emphasis should be on effectively communicating the value to be added. Very, very important. So that's to be able to get the critical buy-in of critical stakeholders. So real-world illustrations will help people feel these things and in a palpable way. Okay, so digital transformation is not something that is abstract. So you should be able to illustrate these using real-world illustrations. It will help get that critical buy-in. Of course, practical tailored solutions should be used. Should be to be able to enable seamless adoption. Okay, so and the tools should be appropriate, of course, and I'm talking about training and guidance, and you can then unlock endless possibilities for scaling responsible business growth. So all these are very important, so that the full benefits of using technology to achieve responsible business growth can be actually attained.
At Armor Gates Training, we believe professional development should do more than inform. It should transform how people work, lead, and deliver results. That's why we support organizations through conceptual insight, practical learning, and performance evaluation right at the intersection of leadership, strategy, and institutional transformation. Our approach focuses on practical learning format that professionals can immediately apply in their workplace. At Armor Gate, we don't teach theory alone. We equip participants with real-world insight drawn from almost 2 decades of organizational transformation experience. Our programs combine multiple learning methods designed for real-time measurable results. Through seminars, we facilitate deep conversation on key subjects. Using group exercises, participants collaborate, reflect, and think strategically. With case studies, they then sharpened analytical and decision-making skills using real industry scenarios. Through relevant videos, we spark insightful discussions using relatable real-life context. All in all, every participant develops an individual work plan, ensuring the learning turns into real action after the program. Our training programs are hosted in world-class venues across global cities, including Addis Ababa, Nairobi, Mombasa, Cape Town, Dubai, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, London, Florida, and Washington, D.C. Let's work with you to turn learning into your organization's growth. For more inquiries, call +234 807 9574 151 or WhatsApp +1 610 504 6026. Visit www.thearmorgate.org. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Armorgate. Armorgate Training, transforming knowledge, interaction, and growth.
So we're talking about integrating digital tools, digital tools, AI, machine learning, even talking about cloud platforms, blockchain, technology that helps transparency, very important for ethical tracking, and ethical sourcing. All right, so boosting operational efficiency and also actively minimizing the impact on the environment. All right, ensuring ethical practices. So talking about operational automation. All right, so you use cloud-based systems to be able to reduce manual processes to various minimal, eliminate manual processes. Paper waste, remove. Talking about a paperless organization, and logistics too will also be impacted. Travel time will be reduced, repairs. All right, so minimum. All right, so talking about softwares that's are very, very effective when it comes to automation. All right, can actually implement tasks like invoicing, the tracking of inventory, and so that time and precious resources can be freed up for other strategic endeavors within the organization, especially talking about towing the path, focusing on the responsible business conduct. So, and of course, that the sustainability too, talking about, must be data dictated, because being able to implement big data analytics and then artificial intelligence to be able to know and monitor carbon footprint levels, all right, and of course talking about energy consumptions. You have Internet of Things, tools that can actually help monitor energy consumption and help achieve efficiency when it comes to energy, and when be able to determine the demand, forecast demand, forecast inventory as appropriately, as adequate, as accurately quickly as possible. All right, so and you understand that overproduction is actually minimized. At the same time, stockouts too is avoided. Okay, so the organization can run at optimum, and that's actually reduces transportation costs by as much as 40%, as research has shown. And when you talk about transparency and how transparency impacts the stakeholdership, okay, and the supply chain transparency too is very, very important. How the adoption of digitally traceable systems to ensure that the suppliers meet the standards, these ESG standards, these environmental, social, and governance standards. Okay, so that the sourcing, all right, can be verified. The ethical sourcing can be verified, and manufacturing can be verified. All right, so there's the technology brings transparency, okay, to this process, to the supply chain. All right, so that the adoption of digitally traceable systems to ensure that suppliers meet these ESG standards. We're talking about how technology can be used to attain responsible business growth. All right, so very important, and of course, the security of infrastructure. Okay, you're talking about the pivots that sustainable data center providers, and not we're not just talk about cloud computing, lowering local energy, hardware energy use, but of course the whole cybersecurity systems. Okay, the robust cybersecurity that ensures that customers' confidence and trust is earned. All right, and bringing in long-term resilience for the organization. The impact on operational efficiency, on sustainability is not debatable, like I said. So, but we must also be careful that there are also unintended consequences, adverse effects. We're talking about attendant risks that we must continually work to proactively mitigate, to ensure that the ability of the organization to achieve its goals, to grow responsibly, is not undermined, because we must continue to earn the trust and confidence of stakeholders. So we're employing technology, but technology must be trustworthy. Okay, technology must be trustworthy. Right? Employ AI must be trustworthy, because we've seen the adoption, the use of technology impact negatively even on human rights issues, right? But we're talking of unintended discriminatory practices in the workplace. We're talking about prejudicial practices, that emanated from biased data sets. Talking about garbage in, garbage out, exclusion, limitation in hiring. Okay, access to opportunities, right? Limitation in access to opportunities, right? So talking about easily human rights issues, and when technology can bring these unintended consequences, proactive attention, measures should be ensured. Even in terms of social discomfort, the picture of privacy, there might be various justifications by employers, maybe justify their surveillance, okay, in the workplace, but you also understand the discomfort that's cost. Causes employees, okay, the breach of their own privacy. All right, even when you look at the information space, how information campaigns can be amplified in such a way that is detrimental, okay, to the target or audience, some sort of manipulation, right? And and that's harmful to the wider society, causing them to think in a certain way, causing them to behave in a certain way, as attention span reducing rapidly, and shrinking rapidly, and the ability to focus is just not there, and the people are just no longer patient and just want to get things really on the fast lane. I mean, look at those effects, okay? And those are unintended consequences of the technology impacting the culture of work, the culture of interaction, all right? So, and the culture of socialization. So it's important that these risks be addressed so that technology can be trusted, all right? When technology is trusted, then engagement can be continuously positively impacted. So the use of technology should be responsible, right? And that's why the OECD developed the due diligence guidance for responsible AI. All right. So of course, OECD member countries plus about 17 partner countries, of course, and the EU, they signed up to this framework to ensure that businesses deploy AI in a safe, responsible, and trustworthy manner, and of course, in alignment with the values and goals of the wider society. Because it's very important that the organizations embed these guardrails to inspire confidence, to instill confidence in investors, wider society, other stakeholders, okay? So that when they see that the technology is being deployed responsibly, then that the safeguards, okay, are consciously put to ensure that the unintended consequences of technology, of the adoption of technology, is reduced to the barest minimum, where there's that conscious effort, that intentional strategic efforts to ensure that the adverse effects of adopting technology, of adopting AI, okay, is not is well addressed, okay, that will engender trust and confidence, okay, from investors and stakeholders and wider society, at large. All right, so it's very important, and that is why the OECD, actually put out the measures, okay, to be adopted, measures advanced, okay, by the due diligence framework. 1, embed responsible business conduct into policies and management systems, okay, and 2, identify and assess actual and potential adverse impacts. 3, seize, prevent, and mitigate adverse impacts. Of course, those that you can put a stop to, that already emotion, you seize, try to stop them. Those that you have early risk visibility when it comes to them, all right, so you can prevent them, be proactive, and those that that no matter what they are just bound to happen, try to mitigate to the barest minimum. Of course, 4, track implementation and results of due diligence activities, very important. And 5, communicate actions to address impacts. All right, and 6, provide for or cooperate in remediation when appropriate. Very important. We dealt with all these issues quite well there during the quarter. Just trying to recap there. All right. Yes, with that recap, we've come to the end of today's episode, and of course the last episode for the quarter. Thanks for staying with us throughout the quarter, and until I come up and advise again next quarter, please keep learning and keep impacting. Thank you. God bless, and bye-bye.
Harmogate, founded in 2008 out of a desire to build transgenerational structures for organizations, institutions, and nations. We have worked with large businesses, international development organizations, and public sector ministries and agencies. Harmogate, our uniqueness is that we do not just work for you, we work with you. For example, we do not leave you to the task after sourcing talent that will help the new hire settle into robust leadership development programs. We are technical experts in advising and supporting institutions on strategy and leadership, artificial intelligence, strategic human resource management, public sector reform, finance, audit and tax, FAT, and strategic communications. We do Do all this and more out of a desire to transform nations through institutions and organizations. For further inquiries, email contact@thearmorgate.org or call +234 810 999 6666 +234 807 957 4151 and +161 0504 6026. www.thearmorgate.org. Armorgate, building to endure and transforming nations through institutions and organizations.